The most anticipated set of the year is right around the corner. Less than a month away, we will see the release of Commander Masters. But how are regular enthusiasts like you and I engaging with the set? How are we spending our money? And what product is the absolute champion and king of this release? Well, we have all the data right now, and we got to talk about it. Let's go. Commander Masters' time in the sun is quickly approaching, and I can already see some of you in the comment section saying, no, Lord of the Rings was the most anticipated release of the year. But if you harken back to when we got the information and the roadmap for what this magical year was going to look like, it was clear that Commander Masters was going to be the jewel in the Wizards of the Coast crown. Now, times have drastically changed since then. Lord of the Rings was immensely popular. We continue to engage with the product post-release, which is important. Make sure you're subscribed so you got information about that. But Commander Masters has a lot to hold up against. It's going to come in a very popular time in Magic the Gathering, but it's also going to come when we've spent a lot of our money. And while I've been critical of this set, I am always willing to put my judgment aside and look at the numbers. So what we do here is we collect sealed product sold listings from TCG Player. That's right, every single sealed product that flows through the popular online marketplace is collected and tracked, and we use that information to not only become better consumers, but to know what products we like, what products we don't like, and how regular people like you and I are spending our money. So without further ado, let's take a look at Commander Masters. What we have here is the graphical representation of all that data. That's right, every single sealed box that has flowed through TCG Player is represented in this information. And I want to start by talking about the pre-sale totals. As we mentioned in the introduction, it's hard for us as enthusiasts to continue to engage with Magic sets post-release. In fact, we have so many products coming at us at all times, it's no wonder that we, get the release of a product, we play with the cards for a little while, we stop, and we move on to the next thing. Well, Lord of the Rings extended that lifeline a little bit, and Commander Masters is going to look to do the same. But as far as pre-sale goes, Commander Masters is actually selling extremely well. When you compare this product to a standard release, we are blowing that out of the water, and when you compare it to Lord of the Rings, which might be unfair, we're falling drastically behind, but for a Magic the Gathering set, we're still doing pretty well. Our pre-sale total is $868,000. That's right, approaching $1 million, and 5,593 boxes total have flowed through the marketplace. These numbers are up, like I said, from standard releases, but still down from Lord of the Rings. But the interesting aspect here is how we are spending our money. If you followed this channel for some time, and if you haven't, what are you doing? We like to have a lot of fun here. Make sure you stick around. But what we do is we look at every single release and we find kind of what the champion is. And for almost every release, it's always the set box. The set box comes at generally a reasonable budget, and it's something that anyone can engage with and do something that we all love to do. That's right. We like to crack packs. We like to open Magic the Gathering cards. But here we see the set box being destroyed by the best product in all of Commander Masters. The Commander decks currently make up for 66.9% of all products sold on TCG Player. That's right. 2/3 of every box that goes out through TCG Player is a Commander Precon. Now, there's a couple reasons for this that we're going to get into after the sales data. I think this is very obvious, and I also think there's some hidden value here that we'll talk about on this channel. But that, to me, is wild. The Commander decks are extremely important. Listen, this is a Commander-focused set, and the idea that Commander decks are going to be popular, that's not a mystery, that's not a surprise. What is a surprise is by how far, that margin. And a lot of that, I believe, can attest to not only the fact that you're going to get some very popular decks. When we look at the deck breakdown, you're going to see that. But you're also going to get 10 functionally unique cards in each deck. That's right, there are only 10 cards per deck that will be unique in this master set. The rest will be reprints, and I think the community is really taking to that. But when it comes to the Commander decks themselves, well, which Commander decks are we buying? So I have broke down all of the Commander decks sold, and I want to talk about how those decks are broken down as far as to what decks people are purchasing. And this includes all the individual deck sales and the deck set sales that are going through TCG Player. Now, we see right now the Eldrazi Commander deck is the king. People want this colorless Eldrazi deck, and I made a video way back when about Commander Masters speculation when we found out there was going to be an Eldrazi deck, and if I remember to link it, it'll be somewhere in the video here, but I talked about the fact that even Commander casuals like myself would love the notion of playing a colorless deck. That's not something that casual Commander people who don't engage as frequently as others, think about building. Like, we always think about our color pie when it comes to our Commander deck. Colorless has never crossed our mind, and the community is loving it here. Plus, I bet there's going to be a ton of spice in this deck, and with it being colorless, heck, those cards that you open in that deck will be usable almost anywhere across your Commander layout. So it's no surprise that we see this, but the margin is massive. We see it quickly followed up by the Sliver deck. Sliver, always a popular way to play Commander, and a lot of fun for those who would choose to engage in the creature strategy and want to play Commander that way. Slivers, it was no secret that was going to do as well. I expected Slivers to be a bit higher, but the community is saying, hey, we're all about the Eldrazi. Now, this is where things get interesting. We see the deck breakdown shaping out the way it is, and again, Eldrazi Sliver is extremely popular, but the final two deck, the Planeswalker deck and the Enchantments deck, seem to be big misses as far as the regular enthusiast is concerned. The community is buying the first two decks and largely choosing to pass on the last two, and this is where it feels like there might be an opportunity. Again, make sure you're subscribed. I'm going to talk about the best budget ways to engage, or that I will be engaging with Commander Masters later this week, but it feels like there could be a lot left on the bone here. But all in all, the set is massively popular. The last thing I want to take a look at before we give some final thoughts on Commander Masters is how we're spending our money, how the money is coming in, and it's no surprise the Commander decks are the biggest portion of this pie. That is what we were spending most of our money on, but when you compare it to how many of the boxes are sold versus what it's costing us as the regular enthusiast, you see that it's nowhere close. That means I believe we feel like we're getting a great value here. That's why we're choosing to buy this product so frequently, and that's why we are buying the Commander decks themselves. Next, you do see the collector box and the set box do come in around the same amount. They are sitting, kind of neck and neck here as we look at this information, and that makes sense. 235,000 and 234,000 respectively. But as you see, the set box is so much more expensive. With, at the time of this recording, only selling 633 boxes. That leaves us with the big unknown. Now, all these numbers just kind of show us how we're choosing to buy the product and what we should do. And it tells us kind of, hey, what is everyone else around us purchasing? What are people leaving on the table? And it's time to talk about why. I truly believe the reason the set box is not doing as well right now is 100% the price. We've talked ad nauseum about the idea that there will be this, that, and the other in the list slot. It's going to be bonkers and you can't even imagine. Well, it does seem like we are either not taking to that or willing to wait and find out what it is. I believe Commander Masters spoilers are going to start very shortly, and to Wizards of the Coast credit, the fact that they're not already out is pretty amazing. The perpetual Magic spoiler season seems to have taken a slight pause for the Lord of the Rings hype train, but it's time we get back on the spoiler ride, and we're going to find out some information. Do you think that after we find out information, the set box sales increase drastically? Do you think they decrease drastically? And I truly believe, and this is no financial advice, look at behind me. If you take financial advice from me, what are you doing? You come to this channel for fun, for entertainment, and to try to be a better Magic the Gathering consumer. But I truly believe that we will see, once we get things released, an uptick in those final two Commander decks and Commander deck sets. As you saw in the graph, people are buying the sets as well. Like, there might be a lot of value there. So this is fun to engage with, guys. I know I will be buying the Commander deck set myself. I have been very open and honest. I don't think the set box is in my price range, nor is it for me. So I'm excited to have those around, have them sleeved. Let me know what you think about the future of this product as we go into spoiler season. It's going to be hype. It's going to be a wild ride. I hope you enjoy it with me, guys. Until next time, you all know my name is Josh. Make sure you share this video, share this video on popular social media forums where you engage in Magic the Gathering discussion, because I think not only does it help the channel grow, but conversations like this are really fun. When it gets going in the conversation and people in the comment section, people share their thoughts and ideas with one another, I truly enjoy that. Thank you so much for 6,000. We're on to 6,250. 6,250 subs. Here we come. Click that button. Thank you so much. We'll see you around. Goodbye.